Welcome to Uncover the Human, where every conversation revolves around enhancing all the connections in our lives.
Whether that's with our families, coworkers, or even ourselves.
When we can be our authentic selves, magic happens. This is Alex Cullimore.
And this is Cristina Amigoni.
Let's dive in.
Good morning, Cristina.
Good morning.
I mean, I don't know what time it is when whoever's listening to this, but it's morning for us.
Yes, for at least another hour or so. It's morning.
As we slowly take away our morning. We just had an exciting conversation with both Maria Putnam and Stephanie Knight, who come from two different DEI organizations, the Colorado Inclusive Economy. I'm going to keep messing that one up because the other one is the DEI Institute for Leadership for Maria Putnam. So it's very exciting to kind of get to talk to both of them. They have a really exciting conference coming up that is showing the partnership possibilities in the DEI space and some of the current issues facing both the DEI space and workplace in general. It's an exciting opportunity, and it was really fun to have them on. Yeah,
lots of fun. Very inspiring. Just the whole concept of collaboration, the way they approach that, which is it's a big issue, I would say, everywhere. I mean, just collaborating for some reason, it's a big obstacle. There's a lot of scarcity mindset out there, and this thought that if you actually do work together, you both rise. I think intellectually most people know it, but then when it's time to do it, there's a lot of holding back. And so that's a big part of what they're demonstrating is coming together as two organizations, and partnering is not just about teaching and providing very, very good information on DEI initiatives and what it takes to bring them into in organizations, but it's okay to collaborate. Actually, it's better to collaborate. You can accomplish a lot more. It's not a finite world as much as we like it to be. It really isn't. So if we could switch that mindset, it can help a lot of people.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting that this is happening within the DEI space too. I mean, it's a crowd that inherently understands and is pushing for things like exclusivity. I mean, we're still subject to all the regular human mental restraints that kind of come in the way when we start to do things like collaborate and actually practice inclusivity. And it's really exciting to both see them modeling this and their deep understanding of the fact that this is just a human problem to face and something that we all face no matter what we do or how we do it.
Yeah. So the conference is October 11th, and all the information will be in our show notes. Enjoy the conversation.
Enjoy. Welcome back to this episode of Uncover the Human. Today we are joined with two guests. We actually have a return guest, Maria Putnam, the CEO of the DEI Leadership Institute, and we're joined with Stephanie Knight, the CEO of the Colorado Inclusive Economy. Welcome to the podcast, Stephanie and Maria.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you. Good morning.
Welcome.
Glad to have you on. So, just to give people a little premise, what organizations do you guys come from, and what are kind of the missions of those organizations?
Well, I am the CEO for the DEI Leadership Institute, and our mission is to support leaders to really apply and do the DEI work out there in the world.
Excellent.
Good morning again. I'm Stephanie Knight, the CEO of the Colorado Inclusive Economy. And our Colorado Inclusive Economy is a nonprofit organization that serves our community statewide. What we do is we engage for-profit entities and nonprofit entities around diversity, equity, inclusion, what we call learning journeys. And we have the participation of the executives that attend the learning journeys along with partners from their agencies to complete the journeys and to really adhere to some of the best practices of DEI. So that's what Colorado Inclusive Economy does.
That's great. Thank you guys so much. Those are both great missions. Excited to kind of see you guys both on here together. We understand you have a collaboration coming up with both of you.
Yes, this is very exciting to work together, two organizations coming together to bring, a space for DEI practitioners and leaders, to be in one space, to learn, to share, to empower themselves. Yes.
Stephanie, what's your take on it? You guys have a conference coming up together.
Yeah, our conference is October 11th. It's a half day of learning. It starts at 8 a.m. and it concludes at 12. It's at the Hyatt Regency in Aurora. And yeah, it's really unique that Maria with the DEI Leadership Institute and myself are partnering in this way. We really want to model what we want to see in the community. So as you know, DEI can be a little dicey right now in our landscape and some of the messaging around initiatives and efforts. And so we really want to model for the community what we hope to see. DEI is an all hands on deck kind of initiative, and we want all communities and all constituents engaged in this work and this education and this learning. So that's how we kind of came together. I attended her conference last year. She attended mine. So we have a good understanding of the mission and the goals we're driving, and felt that we would be highly collaborative in this partnership.
Yeah, that's wonderful. It's as we talked about before the recording starting, it's pretty rare that collaborations like these happen. There is a tendency in just in the world, in the business, and even in the organizational world to see others as competitors, not collaborators. And so it's crucial to really look at the 1 + 1 = 3. There's so much more that can be done and so much more reach.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I think is organization miss out by not collaborating. Because by collaborating, like you say, it's 1 + 1 = 3. It's everybody wins.
And yeah, and you make an excellent point about the reach. I mean, again, the more folks we kind of engage and involve and have participate, the wider the message gets, the more clarity around diversity, equity, inclusion, and also the way in which folks can really think about it and, perform certain actions around it. And so I think the unique voices of this partnership and the constituents aligned with it will really help drive that. Sometimes we are a little impeded in the community as nonprofit leaders around funding obstacles that don't always encourage participation, across agencies. But we also hope we'll send a message to funders, some folks that are interested in supporting and sponsoring us, that this is a wonderful way to proceed, and maybe some more collaborative funding can actually emerge from it, work like this.
That's really exciting to see the partnership kind of coming together. I like how you described it, Stephanie, as DEI being kind of an all hands on deck. Everybody's got a part to play here, and we all can do this better together. You mentioned a couple that there, things like funding might come up. I'm curious, what other obstacles you see to more partnerships like this, just in the realm in general? And second part of that, how are you guys bringing your two organizations together? What do you think has helped overcome those?
Yeah, I think, again, we always have to, Marie and myself, or any leaders in this space, always have to be very mindful around the deeply, deeply entrenched mindsets and belief systems that are held around diversity, equity, inclusion, including the othering, right? So unfortunately, we're both, women of color representing different constituencies, but it's not, it's not lost that not everyone feels the same way about collaboration. There is a sense of, othering and scarcity that can come up for folks when they look at collaborating, and not just the resources around scarcity, but just feeling like, well, someone's positioned better or somebody's voice is louder. And so hopefully, in working together, it's not without challenges. And as I said, trying to push through and wade through some of those mindsets and belief systems, but we hope to send a different narrative and certainly model what we hope to see. So, overall, we're very encouraged. Folks are very receptive about, the cadence of the conference, as well as the partnership evolving and just the opportunity for those to participate.
Yeah, that's so interesting because when Stephanie was just talking, a very clear image came to my mind is fear, when we made decision fear-based, it's such a different outcome. And removing that, getting people more comfortable doing things together, just having a mindset of collaboration and overcoming fears as humans and business owners, as leaders, will do much better.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. And it's the modeling is crucial, especially because it's not just collaboration between your two organizations in this conference, but in order to advance any inclusiveness in DEI, there has to be collaboration inside the organizations and across the organizations. And so it is about demonstrating it in all different ways. so that it is just the way you live, not just, oh, well, for the conference, that's okay. And for this case, it's okay. But then let's not collaborate in other ways.
Yeah, absolutely. And something actually that sometimes an organization is they're afraid to lose.
Yes.
And losing what? If we have ourselves, if we have a good system in our companies, we don't going to lose anything. And that's where I come from usually. That's my mindset, is like, no, we have to always believe that we have it and live in that and not the scarcity of, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose if I do this and share it. And even share resources or ideas or thoughts. Like, no.
Yes. Or even ask for help.
Yeah.
It's amazing how even something like asking for help, it's perceived as a loss.
Yes, absolutely. It's like, no, you going back to like, no, we are humans here. Let's do things better. And by doing it together, we can reach more, we can gain more.
I think even, when you come together in partnership and collaboration and you wade through the fear that may be around it, you actually learn and grow. And as you were saying, Alex, that really helps to further inform and drive the work that we're trying to actualize. Because if you're not evolving, you're not becoming more self-aware, participatory in this type of work, then you yourself are somewhat stagnant. So how do you expect to drive initiatives and works like diversity, equity, and inclusion if you can't wrap your head around the importance of collaboration and fully embracing the I, which is what we're doing in this conference, inclusivity.
Oh, that's really exciting to hear you guys coming together and bringing this together. It's exciting to hear about this kind of collaboration. What do you think are some of the advantages for people who have opportunities to have this kind of collaboration? What are some advantages you see to the collaboration you've already experienced and what you think can be delivered if more people embrace this?
One of them is networking. I think it's a huge advantage because from the institute side, there is a lot of practitioners, DEI practitioners. And the conference itself is attended by cross a company like from all the industries. And so that's one of them. And from the Colorado Inclusive Economy, there is a lot of decision makers. And it's so good to see those. Everybody who attend the conference by doing it, they are doing the work. They are walking their talk. So that's one of the biggest thing is the network. Of course, the content. Oh my gosh, they will be able to walk out of the conference with more information. Information that they can apply in their organizations, in their work, in their lives. So, and I hope a sense of the responsibility that we all have with DEI.
Yeah, I definitely say that networking will be a great opportunity, bringing these two different audiences and constituencies together, for sure, as well as the resource sharing, right? So again, knowing and identifying folks in the room at the conference that are practitioners or, are the DEI champions and leads in their organizations or other for future collaboration outside of the conference, as well as being so important that they get some guidance and some real from the subject matter experts and the sessions leaders we've planned. There's going to be a lot of depth of knowledge that they're going to have access to for just not the conference, but for future. So, it really is a win-win-win proposition all the way around through the collaboration to enhance the networking and the resources and the peer-to-peer learning that's going to take place, as well as the future opportunities that could develop from being in a conference.
Mm-hmm.
That's really exciting. You guys both have a collaboration going between each other, and you've set up a whole environment in which more collaborations can spring up. You're both modeling it and providing the platform for the next steps. That's very exciting.
Yeah, it's I think actually it's a very intentional design. So yeah, that's in all I hope you guys can attend this year and last year. So I hope you can attend this year. And yeah, you can see that. You can see that it is very intentional.
Mm-hmm. How did this collaboration idea come together?
Well, as Stephanie mentioned, we both attend each other's conferences. And this year we got together and, we talked about the possibility to do it. And I thought that was great. And so we both are doing it.
Yeah, I think it came from our budding personal and professional relationship and kind of knowing each other in community and of course attending each other's conferences, but also having a real desire again to bring community together. There's again a lot of dissension and a lot of miscommunication that happens and that is not favorable sometimes to the outcomes that we're all trying to reach. And so just me and Maria leading with an open mindset, one of abundance and one of sharing is something that we share. And so, it made us kind of natural partners in this regard because our mindsets are so similar. And so that's part of how it came to be. Yeah. And then again, wanting to widen the net, expand the reach, engage more folks outside of both of our communities that can really participate in this work and continue to get educated about it.
Absolutely makes sense. It sounds like some of that focus on that big picture goal where everybody has a part to play in this and there's something to be done here and everybody should be collaborating because there's too much work to be done not to be doing it this way for one. So having that mindset, having that abundance, having a clear shared larger vision than any one organization has helped kind of jump into this. Any other tips you would give people to help get into that abundance mindset and want to do this kind of collaboration?
Yeah, I just think you do have to put down some of your unfavorable belief systems or maybe some of the past experiences if you've had in partnership and collaboration. Again, allow each collaboration or partnership to kind of stand on its own, define good ground rules, have excellent communication between partners and collaborators. That's key so that things don't go in the misunderstanding box or the, allow people to go down a rabbit hole with their thinking. So I think, again, we just have to be very clear and transparent within the partnership and collaboration. Don't carry over anything that was negative from a prior exchange and just really proceed with an open heart and mind about and let the objective be the North Star the whole time, because I can get into my feelings as Stephanie, Maria can get into her feelings as Maria, but if we keep our North Star, the objective and the goal of what we're trying to enact, that really does help, minimize a lot of that.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Human-centric leadership.
Yes.
And I think also, it's allow ourselves to give that opportunity. Like Stephanie said, even if you had somehow a bad experience, it's just, no, give yourself the opportunity to build something. I always say that while we are alive, we can do things better. So why don't we build things this time better? Let's learn perhaps from mistakes that we made in the past. We are human. We learn all the time. We grow all the time. So give yourselves the opportunity to do it again.
Yeah. Yeah, you both mentioned the importance of growth in collaborating and how much growth can happen through collaboration. What have you learned about each other, your organizations, and your missions by working together on this?
Well, I have learned the importance of communication and perhaps rethinking things and going back and adjust. And that is so important because reflection allows us to grow and being honest. And that is something that I really appreciate about Stephanie. We see each other. We are so transparent. Okay, this doesn't work for me. It does work for me. There is no holding anything. I don't like to hold things. She doesn't like to hold things. It is so good because it's like, no, we can interact. What I'm looking for after this conference, I look for having a really good relationship with Stephanie and with the community. And it's like, no, we need to do this right. It's a relationship.
It is.
I would say, when working through the partnership, just really kind to move through assumptions that we all hold. That's, growth for me is because I've been in a lot of spaces, a lot of circles with a lot of leaders, with a lot of agendas. I'll just say that. And so it's really easy to default back to assumptions again, because of, where you've been and what you've walked through. And so it's really important as you grow and evolve and become more self-aware as an individual and as a leader in particular, that you start to really kind of couch some of those assumptions and really allow the facts to move forward, and some of the data and other things that really better inform why decisions are being made, and not live in assumptions. So that's a huge growth opportunity whenever I partner, and also in particular with this organization and working with Maria. It's just, let's not rest on assumptions in this particular area.
Which actually, that's interesting because goes back to DEI. When we have bias, we have pre-information, record information in our subconscious minds that is there. And we approach sometimes a new partnership, a new relationship, a new business with so many thoughts and ideas that we don't even realize. And we sometimes make decisions based on those,
It's very true.
And I think, any conversation can be had as long as it's, open, honest, and peppered with love, I always say, because these are tough things we have to discuss. The work itself is challenging and the subject matter is tough to tackle, as well as the mechanics around bringing two communities together and making it a success and staying goal aligned. So you really do have to, kind of get outside of your head a lot of the times and, really open yourself up. But again, I think anything that is well stated in love can be shared and will be received, even if it's difficult to say.
Those are all great tips. Definitely centering on some of that relationship and keeping that relationship. It's exciting and I'm sure challenging on the inside for you guys to run through basically this meta analogy where you're both doing the kind of debiasing work while engaging in collaboration to go help people do the debiasing work to go collaborate. There's just two levels of helping people here, and it's kind of exciting to see you guys both model it, go through it, and how much that is a great analogy for the DEI work that you do outside of the conference and outside of the collaborations.
Yeah, it's interesting that you should say that because, again, Maria and I are good examples that we're not exempt from a particular line of thinking, and we're driving the work. And so we always have to do gut checks and reality tests on ourselves to say, hey, am I now being party of a process that I don't appreciate? And I think every leader needs to ask themselves that question.
Yeah, it's an excellent point, especially because the modeling is so crucial. Like, it's not just about telling everybody else what they need to do. That's the easy part. But that doesn't actually do anything. Like Google, ChatGPT, we can figure out what to do from anywhere except for other humans. That doesn't drive change. What drives change is actually the behavior itself and seeing it first, seeing somebody that embodies that behavior in everything they do, and that inspires others to try and do the same.
Yeah, absolutely. It's embodying DEI, it's being human, it's check ourselves, it's reflecting, it's doing our own work, because DEI start with ourselves. Yes. Good DEI, the DEI start with every one of us. And the fact that Stephanie and I are leading these organizations and putting this conference together and bringing people who's doing this work, and it's people who's going to is investing in DEI, put us in a very good place for us, to see what we are working also on.
Yeah. Well, it's a spotlight for you also in the sense of people are going to want to see the demonstration from the two of you, which they are through this collaboration. Because again, it's easier to say, you go do this. We're perfect in the way we are today. And so by seeing it, actually come together in real life, in 3D, then it makes it inspires others to be able to do the same.
I hope so. I really hope people can take from what we're doing together and work more together. I would love to attend a conference put for two, by two other organizations doing what we're doing with Stephanie. I would love to see that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We definitely hope it spreads like wildfire. We hope that people really, start to embrace it, at least an attempt, again, you don't know unless you try. So
Mm-hmm.
even a first attempt or a pilot in doing something like that moving forward will show, growth to the community that
Yes.
these efforts are taking place. Again, no process is perfect. It has to be iterative. But again, just really, putting yourself out there and saying, we're committed to doing it this year and doing it differently. And we're going to engage a partner along the way. So, that's what we both have agreed to do.
Yeah, that's really exciting. And if somebody comes across that you guys have done the work or doing the partnership, it's exciting to see like a conference come together like this. This is obviously an opportunity like other people can jump in on and maybe create other conferences. What other kind of partnership opportunities do you see in this space in general?
Well, at CIE, we host something called quarterly convenings, which really we launched this year, and it's an opportunity to address our community. 180 companies that have gone through CIE, just address the community as a one body and to really share something informative across community. And so we've engaged subject matter experts in the quarterly convenings around what we call a lesson in DEI. So making sure that DEI is not something that continues to live in a shelf or a manual, but is actually something that is part of our larger and smaller world, larger being national context, but also smaller world being statewide context, and talk about these things with folks that are knowing. And so we hosted one that had to do first with the Claudine Gay incident at Harvard University and the displacement of, an African-American female in that role. We did one, hosted one with someone from Denver, the director of the newcomers activities in the city and county of Denver, to talk about, again, the inclusivity around the migrant community that's come to the state. And then we just are going to announce our third one in September, which will be around housing scarcity and the disparities in housing. So, kind of crafting things like this quarterly, having different community members speak from a place of knowledge is another way we continue to widen that kind of net and the understanding for folks in the community. So that's one way that we try to do it. And also author special sessions within our curriculum. So there's opportunity, again, for other community members and partners to participate in part of the curriculum with CIE. So those are two examples I can think of.
Yeah, and from the Institute, side, we have actually been working with UK and Africa. We have a representation in those two, parts of the world. So combining UK, Africa, and USA, the students who actually are DEI practitioners together to share their experiences and collaborate together. That is something that we are doing in the Institute, and hope next year to have some kind of gathering for everybody. That will be exciting. And like, oh my gosh. I mean, right now, the way that we do it is through Zoom meetings. Mm-hmm. And they have all finished the DEI certification program that we offer through the DEI Leadership Institute. And they all have done their project for change. They are doing the work. So it's so interesting when they get together and share experiences. And they have questions and they share resources. Because the way that we do and implement DEI here in the HR is different in UK or in Africa. So it's very good for everybody.
That's wonderful. It would be great to see them all together.
Yeah.
What do you see? So you mentioned, spreading just the collaboration concept, like fire and networking and all the benefits of being at the conference. What do you see? What do you hope to see happen after the half-day conference with the people that attend?
Yeah, that's such a great question. We definitely hope that they'll have deeper understanding these particular, through attending the sessions aligned with these tracks, that they'll have deeper understanding, for example, in our health equity track or AI and diversity sessions, that they'll know more, Me and Maria have talked a lot about that particular session, AI and diversity, and about really tapping down a lot of the noise around AI, the displacement of workforce, again, a lot of the fear, back to fear again, that people are really feeling about as this will scale and what's going to happen to their current opportunities and their future opportunities. So we really want to have a wonderful discussion with a lot of resources and expert advice around that. The other session that's, again, that's really rich is going to be our legal professional that's going to talk about some of the challenges in continuing to stay the course as a company with diversity, equity, inclusion. Because as you know, a lot of companies have dialed back some of their efforts or really kind of gone more underground about their efforts because they're worried about getting sued. And that's a realistic concern, around the country. So again, we represent a lot of for-profit entities and leadership in the C-suite, and that's a concern they hold. So having someone kind of address that concern, give some thoughtful guidance and resources around staying the course and staying out of legal trouble is something we hope that our companies will really, really appreciate for takeaways. And so, I think just a lot of rich understanding, learnings, and again, some tools and takeaways that they can apply to what they're going through specifically right now in the DEI space.
Yep, absolutely. We also have one in healthcare and DEI, and that's another one that, we all go to the doctor. We all, in us, it's really good that we're going to have a wonderful physician who actually will be sharing his knowledge and expertise on healthcare and equity. And so, it's the AI, is the legal part that is so important, and it's the healthcare, and also the wage and equity.
The equity, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, a good session around pay equity, really, again, and how that is really every employer's responsibility to take a look at. We certainly know that, the millennials and certainly Gen Z, they all are looking at, compensation differently than I think when, I got my first or second or third job. And so they want to know that they work for an equitable employer, that there's plenty of opportunity, that there's ascension pathways within the organization, and that those are going to be monetarily rewarded. So, talking to employers about pay equity and getting serious and committed about that as a retention and a recruitment strategy is very important.
Hey, healthcare, law, AI. I think you got all the big four there.
Yes.
Yeah.
You need a month, not a half day.
Yeah.
That's a good point, Christina. We definitely do. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
gonna
much
be
learning to be done.
Yes.
So much
Oh, yes.
learning.
It's gonna
So
be a
much.
packed morning of information
Yes.
and
Lots.
reflection, because we can have one section where we come together to debrief
Excellent.
about the conference, which is the best.
That is the
Because
best.
you can get content, but if you don't
Yes.
debrief, there is information that maybe clicks is when you do the debrief part. So
Yes. That's so crucial because we see it a lot in leadership, in the leadership experiences, and working with leaders across organizations, is the fact that there's so much running and doing and learning and running and doing and learning that taking the time to just think, it's almost like a bad word. It's we need time to think. We can't constantly just be making decisions and running, making decisions and running. Like if you don't think, you're not, the chances that you're making the right decisions are very little.
There's no time to think. I'm putting out fires from the times I didn't think. Hold on.
Exactly. That's the thing. It's like all the fires are because we didn't think before we acted. And now we're still not taking the time to think because that's a bad thing to take time to think.
Yeah. Or, we are just responding and going and moving, and then we're going to be thinking in response and reaction versus some proactive thinking. And so we want to really tap down all that crisis thinking that we do when we don't take the time on the front end.
Yes. So taking the content and then reflect. What does it mean?
Yes.
How are you going to apply it? What's stopping you from applying it? Why is it important? What's your role in it? What's everybody else's role in it? Where can you find help? Like there's all these things that need to be part of the learning, not just here's a bunch of content.
Right.
Yeah. Because for example, right now, what happened with technology, we have more access, less retention.
Yes.
Mm.
And if we don't stop and reflect
Yes.
and think and actually take pieces of the information and see how we can apply
Mhm.
those, we don't leave with anything.
Yeah. Yeah. We might as well not have the content because
Exactly.
it's, it's useless. It's just
Yeah.
noise.
Yeah.
Very true. Yeah.
Yeah. To your point earlier, Stephanie, it's a great way to not just leave it on the shelf. Now you know it.
Yes.
You have a chance to reflect on it,
Yeah.
debrief, think about how you're going to integrate this into your next
Yes.
work. Not just like, oh, that was an interesting idea. Now let me go back to the default
Yeah.
things I was doing before, and here's this interesting thing I learned on a shelf. Still,
The more we can do to make these things thoughtful, and I say sticky, to the
Mhm.
individuals and to the organizations, that's where the real growth trajectories are going to happen, and that's where the work is going to move. But again, if you're looking for, just a shot in the arm or one single solution,
Mhm.
that's just not going to be how, DI is going to benefit you. Again, we read a lot about really people not understanding the level of time and commitment it is going to take to make these changes. They come out of the backdrop of years and years and decades of systemic inequities, and they're not going to be resolved in a 3 to 5 year strategic plan. They're going to have to be, well funded, well resourced, and you're going to have to stay the course, just like any other
Mhm.
business function. Our
Yeah.
marketing efforts, our finance efforts, again, all of that takes time to develop and cultivate, and DEI is no different. And if you're going in with a mindset of rushing through and finding
Mhm.
the quickest thing to remedy, then it's not going to be a successful process.
No, the check the box does not work. No. And that's one of the beautiful things about this conference is that those who are really serious and know the importance of DEI, by attending this conference, they are doing the work. They are getting the information. They are reflecting. And hopefully they leave with something. And it takes time. It does take time to do DEI work and when you do it right.
So, that's very true. What's your measure of success for the conference? What's going to make you feel like, yes, we did it?
Well, I always hear on no technical challenges. Like that's a big,
Yes.
that's an
That
anxiety
is a good
stressor for
one.
me. Yeah, mic's not working, PowerPoint's not advancing. Like that keeps me up at night. So let's have none of that. So that will be a success if we have none of
Yes.
that. On top of it, we do a good job, both organizations, of doing post attendee surveys. So
Mhm.
really wanting to hear, what they found of value, what they really enjoyed, what could have been done a little bit better. And then also just creating a great experience for those people coming, in our doors and spending time with us, that there's good energy from the subject matter experts, that there's a collaborative spirit that me and Maria will lead from the podium at the beginning. Again, there's high learning, and a couple good snacks. That never hurts. You're funny what
Yes.
people remember from conferences.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
but yeah, those are all measures of success, and from
Yes.
my view, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And having, I really ambition to see the 350 people attending engage in the conference. Yep.
this is all very exciting. Thank you guys so much for jumping on and sharing this with us. This again is October 11th at the Hyatt Regency in Denver. It sounds like 8 to 12 in the morning. So an exciting time to get in on this. And what is the title of the conference?
Yeah, so it's called the Summit. And then again with the Colorado Institute, the Colorado Inclusive Economy and the DEI Leadership Institute in partnership. So we're both branded on all the materials. You can see both
Excellent.
organizations prominently displayed. And again, it's just our summit, which we've done now. Well, this will be our fourth. And then Maria, this is her second year. So yeah.
That's wonderful. So
Very
besides everybody, who would you like to see attending most at the conference?
I think, it's, we're widening the net in my opinion, because we've opened it up to, again, members, non-members, affiliates of the Institute. So kind of newcomers, that'll be a good indication of, some successful marketing and outreach and interest. I would like to see a good percentage of some new folks attend the conference that are not already aligned with either organization. That would be, certainly, something to tout. Yeah.
Yeah, and also, um, I mean, the conference is going to be in Aurora, so a lot of people from Denver is going to go, people from Aurora, but I would like to see more people from Boulder, Fort Collins, Colorado Springs.
Yeah, definitely.
Last year we have people who come from everywhere, and I want to see more people. I want to see new faces. I want to see. That will be great. We have a representation not only of members from the Colorado Inclusive Economy or students from the DEI Leadership Institute, but new people.
Yep. Let's hope that there's many new people for sure.
Yeah, and to Maria's point, we spanned a little bit more across the state in terms of our outreach. That's something our organization's really trying to expand upon, and it's kind of difficult because we lead curriculum, and now we're committed to half of our sessions being in person. So it does present some challenges sometimes for individuals, but we're also seeking partners, which could be an evolution of this conference, to host some of our sessions in their specific footprint, in partnership with Colorado Inclusive Economy, like Fort Collins, like Pueblo, like a lot of locations, either college, universities, or other settings, even chambers where we could host their folks and be right in the footprint for easy access and drivability and all those things as we continue to span across the state.
Excellent. Well, a couple of last questions for both of you. Sure. One is, what does authenticity mean to you?
Authenticity means to me, be ourselves. Yeah, that's it. It's being ourselves. I think that's the beautiful. I see with authenticity this beautiful sunflower that we become if we work consciously in ourselves.
Beautiful.
Great image.
Yeah, I would say the same. I say, authenticity really is about being real and showing up as you are. I know some of our young people can, use this as a part of their vernacular that rolls off the tongue, but it really is true. And I think they're guiding us in a lot of ways. It's really important to show up, in your full self and have space and opportunity to, be authentic. It's one thing to really, govern yourself to be authentic and want to be honest and real, but also you have to have receptive spaces to be in to truly be authentic. So that's an important part. And also you have to show yourself to be vulnerable, which doesn't, come to us easily, some of us more than others, but also as you spend more, days and years on this earth and you're in difficult spaces, a lot of that you can put up a lot of walls and become very guarded.
Yes.
So I think vulnerability is a key part of authenticity. And yeah.
Goes back to, we have nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. Yeah, that's it. And if you think that you are surrounded by people that you think that by being yourself, you have something to lose, either you are in the wrong environment, or you are not doing the work right.
Very true. And a lot of times we are in the wrong environment, and it takes being our full selves and showing up and pushing those walls apart to realize that. I'm like, no, this space is not allowing me to be me, so I'm going to remove myself rather than putting up the walls.
Yeah. That's an authentic question, Cristina.
That's good.
And my last question is, we talked about the conference October 11th at the Hyatt Regency. How can people find you, both of you, and also the conference information?
Both our websites, the Colorado Inclusive Economy and the DEI Leadership Institute, we both have all the information on our website. They can register there. Also, we have been promoting the conference in some social media. Just click and register and go from there.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well,
We
thank
hope
you
to
so
see
much
lots
for
of
your
people there.
time. Yes, we definitely hope to see lots of people there.
Yes.
And we know it's going to be very valuable and worth it. So.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Really
you.
excited. Yep. And we're still, tickets are going fast, but we definitely still have some room. So encourage everybody to go on our websites and register, as well as Maria said, they're in our social media links, and the ones we're sharing to promote the conference. So it's really accessible, and go ahead and just click on there and register, author your payment. So yeah, we hope to see, we want a sold out event.
Yes.
A lot of eager minds and hearts to participate. So we're so excited.
Excellent. Yeah. We look forward to talking to you after the conference to see what you thought about it.
Yeah, that would be great.
All right.
That would be fantastic. Thank you so much for allowing us to have this space to talk about our partnership, to talk about the conference. We look forward to see you, both of you there, and thank you for promoting this event.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank you.
guys. Thanks everyone
Thanks,
for listening.